Hello everyone and welcome to the 2Have and 2Role podcast. My name is Oliver. I am one half of your hosting duo. With me is my co-host Robin. Hey Robin.
Hey.
And today we are going to be starting our recap of Empire Event 3, the summer solstice. So Robin, how was E3?
Well, we died.
We're not going to do our big. Basically, we died. We
died.
We're not going to tease it at all because I'm not going to be able to. Also, the things that happened that we're going to recap as well. I see them in a different light after I died. Basically, we died.
Yeah.
We died near the end of the event. We'll get to it. We'll tell the whole story. But yeah, there's a lot of things that happened in the weekend that didn't have as much meaning in the moment. You know, so if I were to talk about it without the context of us dying, they wouldn't be as good. So also on social media and things like that, it's out that we our characters died. So if you're an Empire person in any sphere, you've probably heard that we that Godric and Aranel are no more. This podcast is coming at you all a bit late as well, because we needed a good week to decompress, you know, because I'm only just feeling normal. You know, I probably couldn't have done this podcast any other day in the past week, to be honest.
No, definitely not. Like we were just not ready to do it. I think like we couldn't even just like sit and chat about it normally together anyway. So like then as soon as we like thought about recording it, we were just like, no.
Yeah, it was a tough one. Anyway, we'll jump straight into what happened, and I will. This one probably won't be like the first part. Probably won't be as bad because you know it happens later. But just a warning that we might have to do a little bit of editing if we get a bit too emotional. Because it's towards the end, it's gonna get heavy. Because it's a fictional world and it's a game that we're playing, but this was like a first time experience for us that was magnified by a few different things. You know, it was I would like to say it was a transformative experience. There we go. That's a
word.
That's a positive. I feel like that's a nice way to describe it. Whether it actually was transformative for the benefit of our actual kind of lives and characters, we can try and figure out. But anyway, starting off.
Let's start the event.
Start E3. Let's go. We're gonna be upbeat at the start. Let's do this. So Thursday.
We started Thursday with our hopes and dreams for the weekend.
This is going to be a long one. So
Thursday we didn't really do a lot of just our normal things, although we did have something quite cool. We had a new camp set up this time. So we actually had a courtyard for House Mortar, and we were able to create like an archway, have a lovely sort of awning area, and make it a bit more of a fun and communal space. We had a new house tent. It was a lot of fun having this lovely area set up, and we were on one of the roads going to the Glory Square, and it was so amazing having that like really nice setup and things.
That's the thing. We're always on we've been on the Glory Square for like 6 events or something.
Oh yeah.
So now that we've like got a bigger camp in it, House Mortar, we wanted a courtyard and everything like that. So thank you to the camp planners to give us that courtyard space. But obviously, if you want that kind of space, then you need to be away from the Glory Square. It was totally fine because we had our own space.
Yeah,
it was completely fine being away from the Glory Square. It was like,
oh, definitely. And like you said, we've had a lot of events on the Glory Square, and I think it's definitely something that I think most people should get to like experience as well. We been there lots. It's quite nice having like new sort of places and new houses and groups around the Glory Square because it kind of pulls you into a lot of things as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's just the usual. We were really tired because we'd been up visiting like family in Scotland like the week previous, and I crammed a load of work into like 2 days that week to get time off to go to Empire. So Thursday night was one of those nights where I was like a toddler that was just fighting tiredness. I was like, I want to stay up because I don't want to miss out, but then
Well,
I'm so tired.
we'd also stayed up late the night before because the night before we did a stream
That's right.
and I sat up sewing kit.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, let's Thursday was good. You know, I always recommend, especially this Thursday. It was like it was popping, wasn't it? As well. Like I felt like the reason why I had a little bit like, oh, I don't want to miss out is because the energy at Anvil on Thursday this event was so high. Like we got there and it was just like party central in it on Thursday night because it was warm, it was dry. We were lucky with the weather the entire weekend as well. We probably won't mention the weather again, apart from Packdown. Packdown was wet, but the weather was actually fine because we had
Oh yeah, it was fine.
yeah
Yeah.
yeah it was good. It was perfect LARP weather because it was a little bit overcast. It wasn't as hot as E3. It wasn't as cold as E1. It was just perfect. And obviously, you had enough light there on the Thursday, and then summer one is the one that a lot of people go to. It wouldn't surprise me if that was their biggest event ever. Actually, to be honest, there seems to be a lot of people there.
Well, the summer one tends to always hit. So for the UK anyway, it always seems to hit school holidays. All over the UK because our school holidays go different a lot of the year. But that summer event, nobody is really having to try and get time off for that. Yeah, it's definitely a busier one, I'd say.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Well, yeah, there's not really too much else to say about Thursday.
Nah.
Friday we did a few little bits and pieces with some other content creators. We've been doing some, yeah, quite a lot collaborating of late, and we've got a nice little like LARP content creator community going
Oh
right
yeah,
now.
definitely. Yeah, we
Yeah,
got on kit like super early on the Friday so that we
yeah.
could go and do some fun creating, which was excellent actually. We had a lot of fun doing that.
Yeah, yeah. And then so we had said on the stream, on our Q&A stream, like the Thursday before, I think we mentioned that you have some of the things we were looking forward to. So you had a skirmish to organize, right?
Yeah, I skirmish. So most of Friday before timing, like I said, we got early, like already like super early and stuff, did some things, and then I ended up timing in quite early as
Well, you can
well.
talk about the plan now because when we talked about it before, you didn't want to mention the plan
I
just in case.
didn't say the plan
So
because
what was the plan?
I wanted to really screw with skirmish crew. So the plan now, this skirmish was well, it was basically a kill mission. Okay, there was a load of Druge, and there was someone called Varag Soulflare who we needed to kill. This person, basically what they were going to do is they were planning on doing something wintry to do with agrement. It wasn't overly clear what the plan was, but agrement is a bad eternal, so anything to do with agrement's probably bad. So I was tasked with killing Varag Soulflare and also killing all the cultists that were there as well. This mission has failed before, and last time quite a few people lost their characters. There was a lot of deaths last time, and he got away. So I was like, well, that ain't going to happen this time. So my plan, first of all, was to form a badass crew of people to come. The people that came on this skirmish, oh my gosh, we had such an amazing group. And because I was able to get so many amazing people on this, I was also able to take a bunch of new players as well and a bunch of people that haven't had the opportunity to skirmish, which I thought was quite important.
Yeah, well, you have that thing with the skirmish. I hope you don't mind me kind of like
Yeah, go for it.
yeah talking about because you had a different crew from what you had the last event. Now there is this thing that it really mirrors like RPG games. Like so, like RPG video games where you have to like, you know, like in Dragon Age where you have to either side with the werewolves or the elves or these dwarfs or the other dwarfs, and you can't please them both. You know what I mean? You're like, right, if I want these people can give this to me and these people can give this to me, I have to choose. And no matter who you choose, one's going to be happy with you, the others maybe not going to. And that is a real part of I especially felt it for you this time because you were like, right, I need these people for the plan, but I can't like I want to let other people that got bumped from the last one because we had like members of part of our group that got bumped from
Yeah.
the last thing. Like no, they're definitely getting a spot this time, and some of them were like new, you know, first time skirmishes and things like that. So you had to be like, right, we want to take these people. I need to put these. I need to choose who I'm putting in charge of this. You know, so it's going to be successful. It's a difficult balance, but it does actually like simulate that part of a video
Oh
game,
yeah.
which is kind of
Yeah.
a frustrating part of those video games anyway. You're like, I know, I want to be friends with the werewolves and the vampires, but you can't. You've got to choose one or the other. You know.
Oh dear. Yeah. Well, that's exactly how I was feeling though, because I was just like, go, what was I like all of Friday? I like narrowed it down, my list, I narrowed it down. So I was like, I have got to get one more person off of this list who's on this list.
We had less than
And
you
then we're
thought as
fine.
well, right? You only had like 55.
55 people is how
Mm.
many I could take. Now, my plan was we were doing 2 mass calls on this skirmish. We had a mass entangle planned and a mass weakness. Now, the original plan was we were in 3 groups. We had our middle and then we had our 2 flanks. We were going to have our mages in the middle ready with the mass entangle and mass weakness because we wouldn't know when we'd need it until we got there. That plan did change a wee bit when it came to the actual skirmish. Should I just say what happened on the skirmish now? We'll just go for
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, cool. So we went through the gate and everything. We actually got everybody together quite early. Everybody came, took a knee, and the person I had leading the skirmish stood up and spoke to everybody. We made it really clear what was happening. We got all the information. Then I had like 3 or 4 people counting people into groups to then get them over to the gate, which was pretty cool, actually. Amongst this skirmish, I had 2 knight protectors, 3 generals, and a senator. So really hoping it was going to go well.
Yeah, I mean, we threw everything at it, and thing is, if it had gone really badly, then would have to have gone extremely badly for like everyone for a TPK, but there wasn't that much chance of that happening. But anyway,
No.
we'll get to the things that did happen.
Yeah, so we went through. We were told that when we go through the gate, we were going immediately left and following round to the wooded area, where most of the Barons like skirmishes have taken place so far. Actually, in that wooded area, that's where we're heading off to. So we headed round as we were walking in. There was a load of druids there, and they were inside like the fort. So we went up and we got our Urzeni who had mass entangle. Total badass. They were like, okay, mass entangle, go. They ran in, they mass entangled all of the cultists and everybody there, and then we just charged every single person there. We had Dawn, Urzin, we had an Imperial Orc, and we had Varushka. We all just charged and we cut straight through this and instantly got them. While we did that, our Varushkan general and another couple of Varushkans went round the outside and they just shatter. They cut everything down. While they were there, they cut down Vrag Soulflare within the first 3 minutes of the skirmish.
Did we pop our mass weakness off at that point as well, though, right? Did we?
I don't know what point mass weakness came off
Well,
because
me and
we split up. Yeah, go for it.
well,
Yeah.
because I didn't run in with you. I ran in with our mass. I ran around the side, so I didn't hear
Yeah.
the call, the mass weakness, but I remember jumping that ditch because there's a little bit of a ditch on that left down the side. So I remember jumping that and then seeing you all. I remember seeing because I didn't want to get hit by the mass entangle. Obviously, that I just saw entangle, and then I jumped in after the entangle. You know, so I'm assuming the weakness went off, but it happened. Everything just got flattened so quick that
It
I
was
was like,
so fast that we kind of stopped and went. So within the first 3 minutes, Vrag Soulfare was gone. Within the first 5 minutes, all the cultists were gone. Most of the druids were gone. Like we were just standing there and we kind of went, okay, where, but we didn't think we'd gotten them yet. We're like, okay, must be hiding somewhere. Right, let's go find them.
well,
We spent,
yeah.
sorry, yeah.
No. So I was just going to jump in and say I think this was one thing we lacked, maybe a communication or something, because everyone was confused at who Varag Soulflare was and what his role was, because a lot of people were looking for like a mage or someone in like fancy armor, whereas Varag Soulflare is an apothecary, right? So he would have
We
had.
didn't know that. Basically, we didn't have that information. The information
We did on the winds. It described what they are. I can't remember what they're called. That the people who lead the Druge culture is what Varag is, and they are described as apothecaries of like the highest, and herbologists of the highest order. So they're not battle people.
no, no, no.
They would have loads of herbs on them, basically.
Yeah, basically, the War Scout had said that we're most likely going to be somebody in robes, basically. But that's all. That was pretty much like, because when we're trying to look for identifying marks, we're just told they're probably going to look different from the others, most likely with some kind of robes or something on. Nothing else was really fully known or understood.
Oh yeah. Clothing wise, like if it's an apothecary, they could be wearing anything. That's the thing. Yeah. So.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yes. So after the first 5 minutes, we're all like, okay, was that it? Did we get them? Did we not get them? There was a bit of confusion because there was one of them in really fancy looking armor who were taken down. We're like, oh, that's got to be them. But then they didn't have anything on them. So we then spent 15 minutes chasing random druids through the woods, and they were running. It just turned into like a race through the woods after that. I was sweat. We were all totally gassed, just running through the woods. Later, I found out that they were briefed to basically, as soon as Varag was killed, they were briefed to panic and flee. And then, but we were all like, that one keeps running away from us. What?
I mean, they panicked. They panicked and fled, but not fled. They went, oh no, and then came back, and then oh no, and then came back. Yeah.
Well, that's how we were like kept targeting this one, because I was like, that one there really doesn't want to be caught, keeps running away. Let's target that one. This poor person's like, oh my god.
Yeah,
sorry, I keep bumping the mic.
Yeah, we got very confused because we were like, is that it? Because we flattened all. Because that's the thing. If you actually thought about it, if we weren't prepared, getting them out of that little fort would have been it would have been very difficult to get in there, wouldn't it? But because we just hit and went entangle and then just flattened, it was just
it was so fast. And then after that, so we kept running, and I was convinced, because I was like, no, I don't think we've found them yet. I was literally looking in bushes. I went back into where the fort was. I was like, have they left something here? Is there an artifact they were trying to do something with? I was like convinced there must be something else. Around about this is when we're getting like closer more to the end now, because like we were getting told, our lovely timer was shouting at us to get back because we're running out of time, we have to go. And I was like, okay, right. Most people like headed back, and we were at the end of this. This is when a couple of things happened. It did get a little bit hairy, because there was a couple of druids who were hanging out and they just decided to come and start attacking.
A little bit hairy.
One of them got me, and one of them got me, and they hit my arm. And I thought, this isn't even a call. I thought they said, severed limb. That's it. I was like, I thought they said severed limb. And I was like, oh, severed limb. Okay, that. Right. And I dropped my sword to be like, oh, I don't have that limb anymore. And then the ref grabbed me like, strike down. You actually need to go to the ground. I was like, oh my God, I did not. Severed limb isn't even a call. So that's when I did like the strike down. And rules for strike down, you need to have like your like butt to the ground or your chest. I went down on my chest this time, and I've never done that before. That is a lot easier, everybody. Just if anyone's wondering, that's easier.
Yeah, because it says backside or torso, so like your front, like your full front chest, you can just put on the ground.
It's much easier to get up because you're not putting all that strain on your knees. Also, the pauldrons are not like digging into your back. It's it feels safer as well because you can see where you're going down.
Which is, yeah, it
Yeah.
is counterintuitive though, because you're just like, you don't feel like you want to fall face first. I guess it's because people get, because of the flavor, like if someone strikes you down at the front, you go, but you fly backwards because they're literally
Yeah.
pushed you to the ground. So I guess if you hit in the back with a strike down, which did happen to me at some point.
So at this point here, then, so we're all like heading out. Most of us are out, and there's one or two still behind. This is where it went bad. What somebody got went down, and they screamed. They were far back from us, and then it got a little bit. I don't actually know what happened here because they went down. And then before we knew it, there was people then shouting, like, no, no, they're actually gone. They're gone. I was like, how can they be gone already? And then they screamed. And as soon as they screamed, I was like, they're not gone. And we literally got to the gate, turned around and bolted back to this downed player because I'm not getting anyone die on a skirmish. So yeah, this is where I sort of like started heading back to get this player. We got them up. We got rid of most of the Druge. Left like 2 or 3 Druge, I think. And then bolted back to the gate.
Yeah, I'm going to tell my version.
Yeah, I was being quite loose on there because I'm waiting for your version of this one.
My version is quite different from yours. Yeah, so we basically we were trying to mop them all up because we were trying to find if there was another ritual site. 'Cause I think people had got like, we didn't know. We thought they were maybe going to a ritual site, and because we didn't know whether we got the target or not, we thought that maybe there was a ritual site somewhere. So we were running. People were going, oh, 4 minutes. So we had 4 minutes, and we went, you know what? We'll just. And there was about 6 or 7 of us, and we went, you know what? We'll just run around. We'll just do a big loop because there was none there. Anyway, as we started doing this big loop, about 5 of them come at us from the side. That's when we had the like interaction where you got struck down. Right,
Yeah.
so you got struck down, someone else went down, right? And the person who went down, and then there was Strash or Zell there as well. And I was like, okay, we're outnumbered. We need to go because all that, like, our team is gone, right? So that's where I pretty much, because you got struck down, I'm waiting till you get up, and I'm like, Aranel, we need to go now. Like, we need to go. I'm hearing 2 minutes, 2 minutes. And we're on the other side of the thing. I'm like, if we get cut off, we're going to die. And I was like, come on, let's run, go, run, run, run. And you're like, I physically can't run anymore. You know, I'm like,
oh
no,
yeah,
I'm
was
like,
gassed.
we need to go, we need to go. And then I realized that I had drug you away, and we had got to like, and then Zoran's in front of us with Arcavian, and Zoran's like, Strash, and I'm like, well, fuck. He's like, he's back there with the person who went down. Then must be, you know. So then you go, oh well, I'm not gonna leave without them. They go on. There was a Varushkan that was down, but there was also a Dornish down as well who screamed. So we then, I'm like, the 3 of you and a couple of other Dornish then go running past me to go save the Varushkan that's down, and Starash who's out there somewhere that I've left behind with you. And I'm like, oh, right, okay, I'll turn around and then and then follow you. So we get the Varushkan up, and then we have to go. Then we go even further in. You know, at this point, they're like, oh, the gate's closed, basically.
Yeah.
So we're like, what's happening? Are we done for? Everyone was a little bit like, well, oh no, because there was literally just like, there must have only been about 6 or 7 of us, just
Yeah.
like in the other end of the woods. The time limit is up, right? And so thing is, I didn't actually understand a lot of the rules of like when the gate shuts, and I think they've changed some of the rules as well, because it used to be like, I'd always thought like if the gate shuts, then you're abandoned. I always thought the rule was if you're at the Sentinel Gate when the gate shuts, then you're dead. Apparently that's not the rule.
Oh no, it's not. I didn't think it was dead either. I thought the rule was always like you have to walk back, basically, meaning your character won't be there for the rest of the weekend because you're going to have to spend a lot of time walking back.
Yeah, because I've heard like the rules that I've seen written down are like it's assumed that you were ambushed on your way back. But then I've heard other stories that people have actually managed to be like, they've said to the PD crew, hey, look, we're actually in Imperial territory. We've actually won the skirmish. Can we, walk home basically, and it's been allowed. And
Well, like my plan, basically, when I realized we were stuck there, my plan was because I knew that I knew there was more skirmishes in the Barrens that day, and I knew that there was going to be other things happening the next day in the Barrens. And I was like, well, there's a very strong group of us. Maybe we camped out somewhere and we just waited on everybody to arrive, and that's still pretty cool. Yeah, but we didn't. We ended up managing to get back to the gate very late. And
extremely late. Like a
late
good,
enough that
must have been about like 15 minutes after the gate had shut. Because
I don't think it was late as that.
Well, I mean, the rumor mill must have been very, very quick. Like,
I think it was like
quick.
5 minutes, like if that. I don't think it was. I mean, think about how close Dawn is to the actual gate, though. Like, it doesn't take long to run from the gate to Dawn.
I guess.
So basically, I think there was probably, from when the first people from the skirmish got through the gate, from when we got through the gate, there would have been quite a big time difference there. But fine. So we got to the gate, eventually got through, and everyone's like, they all thought we were dead. And this rumor had gotten everywhere. And it turns out apparently a group of people were attacking the gate to try and get us out.
Yeah.
Apparently the egregore was involved and had to do a lot of stuff, and then wasn't very pleased with us for a while.
Oh, no. So as we're walking back through Dawn, everyone's just like, "You're alive?" I'm like, "Yeah, we're alive. What do you mean?" Everyone's like, "We're all telling everyone you're dead because we thought you were." Everyone said the gate had shut behind you and you didn't make it back, and we're like, "No, we're here." So
hello, not dead yet.
Yeah. So I think it used to be that like, if you went past the time, then you get what's like called gate shock, and it could be really severe and things like that. But I think so. So my understanding is that they don't do that so much anymore because of the traumatic wounds and things like that. Like they're trying to make it a little bit more streamlined because of how much of a hassle it all is. Like when people come back from skirmishes and they're all possessed or they're injured, and it like gums up the gate.
Yeah, I think it's more of a courtesy thing, isn't it? Like you've got the 20 minutes. Do it in the 20 minutes because then it holds it up next week. Also, the skirmish crew are going to need that time between skirmishes to obviously catch a breath,
get ready,
get into character the next one. So it's a lot there. So like that, change over time when we had like skirmishes back to back, that changeover is so important. So it is a courtesy thing. Don't do what we did. Don't stay there. But also, wasn't going to let her die.
Yeah, no, like I was like, we're gonna die here. I was like, we need to go now. Like this is a bad situation, and you were just like, no. You and the other Dornish were like, no, let's stay and let's do the thing, So I was like, okay. So, Godric was a little bit like, oh, okay. So was Oliver as well, actually,
because I'd already accepted. I was like, I can't run to the gate that fast. I'm already gassed. I've accepted my fate.
You ran back. You ran all the way back to go.
She screamed. Oh my gosh, player, you know who you are. You screamed. And that, you're like, no, I was going to run straight into the Drush for you after that. Well done for screaming.
Yeah. And we came back because that's what heroes do. They come back.
That's what heroes do.
Remember that, everyone. Remember that. That's what heroes do. They come back when people are screaming. I was a little bit like, because I'll be honest, in that moment, if I had been completely in charge, then we probably would have lost those two people, because I would have been like, no, we're outnumbered, let's go, But anyway, that story will continue later on. So we get back to camp.
Yeah, we get back to camp. We had a lot of fun after that. I was on a total high after that, walking about my like protector cup attached to my back, just being all like, yeah, we did it. Well, I know, no, we didn't. No. So when we first came back, we didn't know if we'd done it yet. And it was when we were walking back, and I was like, I cannot believe that. I cannot believe we don't know if we got it. And we're there with one of our friends, and he turns to us and goes, I took 40 herbs off one of them. And we all stopped and went, that's the person.
Yeah, that would have been the target. Yes.
That was the target. So yeah, and then basically scouts came round at some point in the weekend and let us know that yeah, it was a full success, and then let us know it was actually done in the first 3 minutes and that everything was on the first five. And I was just like, oh damn.
Yeah, so 3 minute skirmish, a record.
That's your record, everyone.
3 minute objective complete.
Yeah, so then we had a bit of fun. I guess we just had lots of fun conversations and things. Right up until we had some tests. I don't think anything happened before then.
Nothing of any impact, really.
No. So yeah, we then House Mortara had a very interesting evening as we had people requesting tests of metal within the house. And I won't go into the detail of everything that they did and things because that's going to be private to their characters and they're going to be working on that going forward. But Godric did something here.
Yeah, so it, quite thematically as well after conversations with House Mortaire and especially last event as well, kind of learning because I got some flowers from House Mortaire as well, and the flowers were symbolizing how they appreciated how well it was something along the lines of they admire my ability to avoid death basically, and the kind of the whole thing about House Mortaire is about embracing death, and Morrigan had said to me on a couple of occasions that we all death comes for us all, and we should live this one life gloriously and embrace death. And after the events of the skirmish and out of character, this was kind of like this was the plan that we wanted to do a test of ardor. So then Godric was going to ask for a test of ardor. So there was tests of metal being handed out, and then I stood up and I was like, do you have time for one more test to be given? And I asked for the hand of Lady Aranel, and I requested a test of ardor from the Enchantress Mortaire. So do you want me to go through what the test was?
The parts you know about it, yeah, because I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So the test was in 3 parts, right? The test was in. I'm a little bit sad because
I'm so gutted.
Because I didn't get to complete this part of the test, and yeah, this is game that you kind of miss sometimes when your character dies. But anyway, I had 3 parts to the test of ardor. The first part was, well, basically it was over 3 seasons because it was all 3s, right? So I had to retrieve a riddle from a member of House Mortaire for each season, and I had to solve the riddle. The second part, which was a really, really cool part, for three summits, when the sun goes down, I am to stand vigil over a number of black roses, and at any point during the hour that the sun goes down, people can challenge me to one-on-one combat. And if they were to defeat me in one-on-one combat, they can take 1 rose, and if 0 roses remain, I fail my test of ardor. And the third part, which is really disappointing, the third part was going to be the most challenging of all, and I wasn't going to find out that part until the winter solstice next year. Unfortunately, I don't know what that was going to be, even though I was very excited. But in the moment, I was like, yeah, this is really cool. So
yeah,
Godric had now had something to work towards,
It was also said that Aranel was not allowed to help in any way.
No.
But you were allowed to have help. Not physical help within the fights, but you could have people help in other ways. So it was when you started telling people about this, you're telling your friends, your dearest sort of, trusted allies, and they're all like, I'll fight you.
Yeah.
No. You had so many people getting ready, like, yes, I'm going to go fight Godric. How many times can we fight him? Can we just keep going? And I'm just like, oh my God, no one's going to help you.
Nobody was like,
no one's going to help you.
I'll help. But the idea of the test was that, I'm supposed to try to prove my love here. So I was like telling everybody, I was like, anybody in the Empire come challenge me when the sun comes down on the. So it was every Saturday when the sun goes down, or for the next three summits. So
Mm.
summer, autumn, winter.
Yes.
But yeah, that was my Test of Ardor set. So I'll remind everyone as well, because a lot of people might not remember, or they don't know the Dawnish brief, because I'm very aware that we've got a lot of people that aren't in Dawn and get confused with the tests. So I'll just run through it quickly for everyone. So
Mhm.
nobility in Dawn is earned. It's not a birthright. So the class system is noble and yeofolk. Everybody is, if you're in Dawn and you're not a noble, you are a yeofolk. If you haven't proven your nobility, you are a yeofolk. Nobody's born a noble. Literally, nobody is born noble. So you have to pass a test of mettle to become a noble. Test of mettle can only be given by an earl of a house. So say if you want to join a noble house and go from yeofolk to noble, you go to ask for a test of mettle, or a test of mettle might be offered to you. If you want to, there are obviously other circumstances where, so if you want to join Dawn from another nation, then you speak
Mhm.
to our egregores. They give you a test, like a test to be part of Dawn, but then you still have to do a test of mettle if you want to be a noble. If you want to start your own house, oftentimes, if you're a noble and you're not an earl, but you want to start your own house, then you can go to other Dornish nobles and be like, hey, can you set a test, other Dornish earls, and say, can you set a test, usually like multiple earls, and be like, I'm going to start my own house, but I want to pass a test of mettle to become an earl instead of just
Yeah.
a noble. There are other tests. So for nobility and marriage, when you pass your test of mettle into a house, you are then family. That is your actual family, and it's as strong as blood. Like there's no blood thicker than water here. Like especially
Yeah.
especially in the Empire setting, because adoption is normalized and things like that. There's no like. We see family as family, and I think that's true across all the nations. Like family is family, but
Yeah, I think so.
in Dawn, the nobility, once you are a noble, you are a family unit. Therefore, like when you test into a house, they're your brothers, your sisters, your siblings. Into sibling relationships are like frowned upon, so that this is therefore why Aranel and Godric tested into different houses. And then no marriage is marriage in Dawn. If I want to go and marry Aranel, I go to the Earl of Aranel's house. I ask for a test of Ardor, not a test of mettle, a test of Ardor. I then once I pass that test, then I can marry Aranel, and then I am also a Mortaire. I'm also part of that house because I've married into that house. So that's how Test of Ardors. If people like that want to hear a good example, apart from ours, obviously, a good one is actually how Dawn joined the Empire. So if you're
Yeah.
out in the field, go and ask for that story, because that's a really good Dawnish story.
Yeah, definitely. Um, yeah, so we did a lot. We got our test set. We then partied for a bit. We had a little bit of a party at Mortar. There were bards. There was drink flowing. We had the campfire going. It was really nice, and we did that pretty much right up. Well, you went to military council. I missed military council this time. I was super late, and I went over and I literally walked into the room. I was there like less than a minute when one of the generals grabbed me and walked back out and just told me what was going on. I was like,
Yeah,
oh, good. I'm glad I've gotten to this point. Just
yeah.
tell me what's happening.
Yeah, so military council was funny this time, because like I wanted to get the Test of Ardor stuff sorted, and we wanted to get obviously that skirmish done, and it was all go like that Friday as well. Like we timed in, we timed it at different parts of Anvil, and we were like instantly just go 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 that entire Friday. But yeah, we did so much that it almost felt like a Saturday, because then we woke
Yeah.
up on the Saturday, we were like, oh god, we've got all of Saturday to go now, because we did so much on the Friday.
Yeah, we did. Like, I mean, yeah, because then like after military council, we had the meeting.
Oh yeah,
Um,
super secret meeting.
we had a super secret meeting.
Yeah, which we can't
uh
really divulge any like
we can't really talk
details,
about it.
but
It was a super secret meeting.
super
But that
secret
was at like
meeting.
11 o'clock. And I was gone. I was so tired.
Yeah.
We got halfway through the meeting and I was like, shit, I'm gonna fall asleep. I'm so tired.
Yeah.
I need to go get another beer or something.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was like we were doing lots of like political talking about because obviously like the Barons is now a big deal in the Empire with it being a, newly a imperial territory.
Mm.
So there's lots of talk now about what do we do with the Barons locals that aren't Dornish slash Imperial, so there's a lot of discussion in game. There's a lot of spicy discussion in game.
I like it because Ben got some good pictures of us in this meeting actually. Because I like I've just started tipping like photographers off whenever like I'm like, hey, did you know such and such is happening at this time? Just you're going to be
Yeah.
there.
Which is fine because like I remember when Ben was on the podcast, he literally said like, no, like if there's something that you want to tip photographers off on, make sure you do, because
Tell them.
a lot of time the photographers are just wandering around, so they'll get, if they know something's going on, then they'll be like, all right, okay, well I'll go see if I can capture that, because they don't know, because it's all like all this is player led. There is a schedule. I am glad. I mean, I think I am going to have to give a little like all the people, basically all the people that do all the notice boards and the scheduling, because again that is all player led, and it is
Yeah.
things organized by players that are, it's not set in stone, because that's the thing. If you go, oh, what time is such and such, and it's not military council or senate, which are the times are kind of set by PD, but everything else is just player led, so when you're like, when's the Night Protector summer tournament,
It's like it's going to be at this time unless somebody decides to go and announce something in the Glory Square, which is going to happen. So
yeah, so yeah, big up people that organize those like little schedules and things like that, and notice boards, because they are super handy.
yeah, no, they definitely are. And yeah, so like I was like, okay, the secret sort of stuff. I'm just gonna tip the photographers off on this. But yeah, there's some really cool pictures. So picture of me just like sitting taking notes. It's just like my happy place is taking notes. Aranel's notebook.
Nice notebook. Yeah, yeah,
But yeah, so that was like that was pretty much our Friday, right? Because
yeah,
after the meeting, I was so tired and we just ended up going to bed.
yeah. Right. So should we, and then we'll cover, we'll go on to the monstering in the morning, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm saying the monster battle, meaning we were monstering. So it was decided that Dawn, it's easy to do it this way. Yeah, Dawn, Wintermark, and the marches were going to be fighting on Sunday. So that leaves everyone else fighting on Saturday. Now we haven't fought with we fought the marches a couple of times previously. We haven't fought Wintermark, and I think it's been like years. It's been
5 years, I believe.
Yeah, it's been like 5 years since Dawn and Wintermark fought together, because they're two such big nations, so we were monstering on the Saturday. Now I can't remember. You just said out of recording that it was like Karaman they were fighting. And I just don't. I can't remember what the battle opportunity was. I don't know what the objectives were for the Empire at all. But we were Jotun, so there was no Druge opportunities. There was no fighting in the Barons on the big conjunctions this time round, which has been a while. So we're fighting on the Western Front now. So we're basically trying to kick Jotun ass, basically, because the Jotun are getting, basically we've got this looming threat in the Empire of like the Grendel coming in, because like peace treaties and things like that, and we think that they've got lots of fleets and blah blah blah. This set of podcasts, unlike the last set of podcasts, we focus very much on the broader game. These stories that we're telling now is very much like Godric and Aranel focus. So I'm not entirely sure about a lot of what happened in the broader game this time.
Yeah.
But we were fighting as Jotun. So.
Yeah, we were fighting. We were actually Jotun this time. We weren't Yugara. Normally we play Yugara when we're fighting, but this time we're Jotun, and we actually got to wear masks.
Yeah, we did. Yeah. Yeah.
That was new.
Yeah. The masks weren't as bad as I thought they were going to be, actually.
No. Huge like props to everybody though. Like when I was a bit worried wearing a mask. My asthma is really bad, and I tend to get a little panicky if I've got anything tight around my neck and stuff. So I was a bit worried. And when I mentioned that to the crew there, they instantly went, "Oh, that person over there has scissors. If you put it on, if you need a lot more space, just tell them they'll cut it wider around your mouth, or they'll cut it wider around your nose if you need." And I was like, "Oh wow, that's really cool," but it was fine. Massive props to all the Imperial LARP players. I didn't realize how hard it was to hear in those masks, and people have said it.
Yeah.
Oh, like my hearing's bad anyway, and I was just like, I can't hear anything. And oh, another thing, I didn't realize how much I was counting on being able to like, do I normally look at my feet when I walk? Because I was walking in that mask and I had to keep looking down at where I was walking. And I was like, I felt like I don't think I normally walk like this. But
yeah, it just messes with your peripheral vision, I guess, you know. So no, I didn't find it too bad. So yeah, we were playing as Yotun. And yeah, again, I don't know. I'm going to leave it to you to tell this story, because I don't know what you're comfortable talking about or whatever.
Fine.
So
yeah. Oh no, it was absolutely fine. We were standing around for a really long time as we were waiting, and then we finally got to go and do some fighting. And yeah, there for a few seconds, and I took a spear to the throat.
Out of character, took a spear to the throat. It was. I gotta admit, I was quite scared. As this is a theme, by the way, and this is, I was quite scared.
That was me.
Yeah, and well, I was talking about it was a theme, me being scared, but yeah, it is also a theme of you having an out of character, like, oh no, wobbly, right? So yeah, someone stabbed you in the throat. And I feared that because you couldn't breathe, and I was like, and then obviously you had the mask on, and I was like, are you down? Are you like, thankfully I was with you because I know you, because that's the thing, because you went to the floor and I thought, okay, well, you've been cleaved, and I was like, I think I actually grabbed you and went, I've got 2 hands on you, and then you didn't move, and I was like, oh wait, what? And then because you have a mask on, so I can't see your face or what the hell's going on, so I literally just ripped the mask off you, and you're like that, and I'm like, what the hell?
I couldn't breathe. Like, I couldn't breathe. It was horrible.
I absolutely, excuse my language, shat myself, because you were like holding your throat. I thought, oh my god, this is like the worst thing ever. So yeah, we got the paramedics over.
There's the paramedics. Everyone.
Shout out to the paramedics, our favorite.
There was a paramedic. There's her first time being at a LARP event, and she was like, I did not expect it to be this brutal.
She was like, it's not supposed to be brutal, right? It's not supposed to be brutal, but this is an honest story. This is honestly what happened. We're not trying to like be like, oh yeah, it's brutal and it shouldn't be, or these things just happen. You know, you're doing a kind of a contact sort of sport. You know, there's lots of people. You know, accidents happen. But basically, it just kind of winded you and bruised you a little bit, and I think you just panicked, because it was a bit like when you had like your heat stroke and that, because just having a paramedic speak to you made you feel better, you know, because you were just like, I think you were just worried because it was just like lots of trees and oh no, I'm like in the middle of like loads of people are kind of just carrying on playing and I can't breathe type thing.
Yeah. So. Oh yeah, I was like really bruised and sore, couldn't breathe. I felt like I couldn't speak, and it was a bit of like a full-on panic, and then I'm gonna calm down, and then we ended up leaving early. I was gonna stay and fight, and then you kind of like, well, we did that typical thing, didn't we? Like, you were like, no, we should go, and I'm like, no, I'm fine. Somebody else like, no, you should go, and I was like, okay, yeah, if you think I should go.
Well, basically it's what should have happened last year at E4 when you got out of character hurt, because like I said, when I'm saying, we can go back, it's totally fine, and you're just like, no, and then someone just suggests, yeah, maybe you should go back, and you're like, yeah, no, I think you're right. So luckily you listened to someone else, not your husband, but it was definitely the right choice. I was like, no, this is a monster battle. We've come out, we've done our duty, we've done a bit of fighting. It is early on the Saturday. If you get like completely shell shocked and just like, or if you are actually injured, you're going to ruin your whole entire weekend, you know?
Yeah. Plus, like the way we were, the respawn there was like 60 people sitting in respawn ready to go anyway. It was like, okay, do you know what? We're fine heading off here. Been here a while. And yeah, we went out. And and then wait a little bit. We got like sort of like walked out, and then yeah, we went out and just sort of like got ready for the day.
We chilled out, made sure that you were all kind of hunky dory, and got changed into our kit. I think it's maybe a good idea to end this episode here before we like ramp it up into the craziness of Saturday and Sunday. Actually,
Yeah.
you agree?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because a lot then happened. So yeah.
Yeah, and I don't want to break it up because we have a few things that happen in succession from the Saturday to the Sunday that are very important for the ending. So
Definitely,
I don't want to start intruding into what happened early on the Saturday afternoon. So anyway, excellent. If you thank you very much for joining us, everyone. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure you follow and subscribe. If you are watching this on YouTube, make sure you give us a thumbs up. If you are listening on your favorite audio platform, give us a 5-star review. That will help people find us until we release the next episode. However, you can go check out some of our other episodes that we have done. Until the next time, though, we love you and stay safe. Bye.
Bye.